Okay, so now we're going to do our video tour of an urban backyard barnyard. I wanted to start by talking about the fence. Our fence is about 4 feet high. Actually, it's 3 feet and 11.5 inches high. It's made from cedar posts that are 6 feet tall, so they're buried 2 feet down. And then this is just a stock wire fencing material that we got at Lowe's. You can get it at Lowe's, Home Depot, probably any local hardware store. And this is actually 5 feet tall, so we buried it in a foot down all the way around. Our gate is the strongest part of our fence. We went ahead and got a chain link gate because if the animals are going to try to get out, the gate is where they focus their effort. So it's important that the gate be pretty strong, especially if you have goats. The gate is actually just kept closed by a chain and a little clasp here, and that works just fine. Looking at the whole barnyard, our whole backyard is surrounded by a 6-foot wood fence, so that forms part of the perimeter of the barnyard. The barnyard is 19 feet wide by 38 feet long, so it's about 720 square feet. And you can see on the right is our little chicken coop and run, and then on the left is the shed, which is the daytime shelter for all of the animals. So now we'll go in and look at those more closely. All right, now we're going to be looking at the chicken coop and the little chicken run that we have. So starting with the run, our run is really quite small. It's, as you can see, it's nowhere near the 10 square feet or 16 square feet we would need in order for this to be where the chickens spent the whole day. But we use it as a place to keep the chicken feed because it keeps the goats away from it. It's the only place the goats can't get in. So we just put the chicken food there. It's a little chicken feeder. You can set it on something. You can also hang it. And you can see there's a little door at the far end of the run there that we cut out in order to allow the chickens to get in but not the goats. And you'll actually notice, if you look at the size of that door, it's pretty small, but even as small as it is, a goat can get through there. So we ended up having to put a wooden bar in, and that now the goats can't get in. So this is the chicken run, which is really just the food area for the chickens. And then this is their nighttime shelter. This is their little bitty predator-proof coop. So it just opens up like this. The chickens actually can fly in themselves through, they come into the run and they fly up through here, and then at night we're able to shut that door, put in a pole to keep it secure, and that makes it all nice and predator proof. The floor of the chicken coop is actually hardware cloth, so it is permeable. You'll see that there's some bedding in here, and so we'll swing around now so you can look in the chicken coop. The chicken coop is 3.5 feet by 2 feet, so it's 7 square feet, and we have 6 chickens, so it's a little more than 1 square foot per chicken. We had 7 chickens with our last flock, and that was enough space for them to be happy and healthy, but only as a nighttime shelter. They only come in here when the sun goes down, and they just come in to essentially go to sleep, and then in the morning we let them out. Okay, so right now I am inside our shed. This is an 80 square foot shed. It's 8 by 10, and this serves as the daytime shelter for both the chickens and the goats. And the goats can also sleep in here at night if they want to, but most of the time they don't. So this is where we have the chickens' nesting boxes, which are basically their bulb crates from a florist that we stack up. You can obviously build whatever you want. So we have 2 big nesting boxes which work just fine for our 6 chickens. They take turns, and we've got some straw and some discarded old hay in here for them to lay their eggs in. We've got a couple nice little eggs. And then over here we have the goat mineral and the baking soda for the goats. And it's a good idea not to fill the bowls very full because they do tend to knock them over. So this is the area where if it's precipitating, the chickens and the goats can spend, and the ducks can spend all day in here. It's 80 square feet, so it's enough room for everybody to kind of hang out. They're welcome to leave the shed whenever they want. And they will do so if there's snow on the ground and even when it's very cold, but if it is precipitating, usually they prefer to stay in here where it's covered, and this is always open to them. at any point during the day, they always had access to this daytime shelter, which is really important. They always have a way to get out of the wind, the sun, and any precipitation. So next we're going to look at their water. And lastly here, we're just going to look at the water. We just have a rubber tub that both the chickens and the goats drink out of. Because my husband and I both work from home, during wintertime we're able to come out periodically during the day and pour some boiling water over it to keep it from freezing, so we don't have any heating elements or anything inside of our water. Right now it's out in the barnyard, which is where the animals prefer it because it's easy to access, but if there is really inclement weather and they're in the shed all day, it's very easy to just move the water tub into the shed for them so they have access to it during the day.